Hi, and welcome to ThreatTraq Essentials, where we take a look at some basic, everyday cybersecurity lessons that we can learn from this week's ThreatTraq stories. I'm here with Michael Singer, who's on the show this week. How are you doing, Michael?
Doing great. Thank you. Good to be here.
So first, let's talk about the story Matt Kaiser brought to us about how Intel is planning to incorporate some new security features in some future processors.
Yes, so Matt went over with us a plan to add features to the actual chips themselves to add some protection as code is running. Sounded great. Matt did point out that you need the new chip as well as software that can support this new functionality. But look promising. There are lots of attacks where people will intentionally try to get a processor to make a mistake, fill up buffers, they're called, with too much information to cause some kind of change in the processing that then can be used to do something malicious. So this sounded very promising. When we get to a place where these chips are out there and running and where software can support these new features, it'll be a better place and we should see less exploits as a result of it.
Now, Brian Rexroad brought us some of his findings about DDoS attacks during this pandemic and some interesting trends he found. Tell me about that.
Brian Rexroad showed us some data on what's happened since people have been in quarantine. And it was very clear, the data shows that there's a steady ramp up as people have been quarantined and more DDoS attacks that have been detected and mitigated on the AT&T network. Brian did talk about what the most likely use case is, and that being gamers. So gamers want to win, and in order to win, they sometimes will use services that could be illegal, unethical, but in any case, they use their credit card number and they purchase those services and send lots and lots of data to an adversary or a server in order to give them an advantage in a game and come out ahead of their opponents.
So if someone is a gamer or has someone who is on their network who is, what advice can we give them?
Don't do it is the best advice. Don't purchase DDoS attacks as a service to take out your opponents.
And lastly, you brought us a very interesting story about ransomware that is not really ransomware.
Yes, this was a fraudster trying to convince an innocent victim that they need to pay a ransom, and they wanted to pay it in Bitcoin, which has been a real thing for quite a few years. They cite things that are real. They say web servers have vulnerabilities, which is certainly the case lots of the time, but they don't actually do anything to your system. They simply look up your domain name, put it in the note to you, the ransom note, and tell you that they were able to get into your system, copy your information, and they tell you to act quickly, give you a few days to respond, or else your reputation is going to be destroyed in a very threatening way. They tell you that there are no countermeasures. Brian Rexroad is quick to point out that there is no such thing as no countermeasures. There's always a countermeasure, but it works to create that fear and doubt and to get people to act quickly. So really, this was just beware. There's a new type of attempts to get you to pay a ransom out there using a lot of stuff that's somewhat believable, but you'd always want to have evidence or engage someone who can help you uncover what's really going on here, if anything actually has gone on. Brian mentioned if you have cyber insurance, report it to them and they can investigate and see if anything really happened. There's probably no reason for you to react strongly and have to pay anyone any Bitcoin.
Thanks for that great advice, Michael. And thank you all for watching. If you want to keep up with great advice like this, please like and subscribe below. And if you want to learn more about any of these stories, click on the playlist. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.